Sawtooth Dave. In the other shop today, it's just too nice outside not to come out and get some fresh air. So you can hear the dogs barking probably more. My neighbor might be out there grinding something because she's a kind of one of the metal artists kind of things. She does cool work. Before I forget, I know a lot of people were interested in that sawtooth from last week that I got from Doug. You know, when I buy stuff, especially from guys I've done business for, like Five Door, I don't make money on that. I just buy it and then I offer it. And if no one wants it, I'll keep it. But I offer it for the same amount of money that I got it for. I didn't expect that many people to kind of want that one. So because it was a modified one. So I apologize. I know sometimes in the past I've done like lotteries and who gets to buy it, which is it's kind of weird then, like, but you know, I'm just trying to keep things fair. So the first come first serve thing is like, I don't know, like, I guess it's kind of cool too, but I guess I got to wrap my brain around a fair way of doing it. But drink water got that one. Deal's not done yet, but I apologize to the other guys that wanted it. Just one of those things, right? So for me this week, like, I couldn't tell what day of the week it was. It was kind of crazy week. I was supposed to have extra time off, and I literally hadn't had hardly any time off. But Tuesday I got time to get in the shop, and we finished a few things. I was trying to figure out how to finish this one on this one. I don't know if it's going to come out good or not, but hopefully you can see it. I just got it stoned right now. Not sure if I'm going to keep it that way. I use a ceramic stone on it. Not sure if I'm going to keep it that way, but there's other things I want to do to this knife anyhow, so I will be doing more mods to it. So it's not done, but I just wanted to show you what I ended up doing finish-wise on that fuller. I just kind of polished up some of the machine marks out of it. I'm not 100% happy with it, but I think for what I can do right now, it's probably how that one's going to stay. So this is like Tuesday morning. Like, me and Eonan's been trying to get together for a few days now, and like we kept dodging each other, but I knew he's coming by Tuesday. No, he has some stuff to do in the morning, so I'll sneak into the shop. And let me just say, man, I hope I have the strength that man has if I'm ever tested in a similar manner, because very admirable. You know, he's been through a lot. But you know, hopefully he'll come back around. I think he's gonna do a live. I think he said January 7th. Don't quote me on that one, but it's like a Tuesday in January, which was Diana's birthday. And I think he's planning on doing a live. So if you've never even been to Eona's channel, just tune into that live. If y'all, I know most of y'all like lives. I'm not one of them, but like most of y'all are into lives. I think you probably enjoy that one. And whether he progresses with the channel or not, I don't know. Obviously, me and him are still friends, and you might see him come in my videos, and he may even come into the shop and start helping me some in the shop. But the whole theme of that day was double detents. And I had shown you in this one before that I'd done a double detent mod on, which is that full-size Marauder. And you can see the other second detent hole up there. And I'd done the detent on this one. I didn't want to take this one and use it for a direct copy of the one that I got from Bob. So I just went ahead and did it. And if you look, it's almost carbon copy. Like, I didn't mean to do it. I literally left this one inside and did this one separately. And it's almost exactly the same. You can probably see the two holes too. So double detent, especially on this Marauder, you know, they're coming on and off through that finger choil. So you have like a little bit, yeah, you probably saw that, a little bit of a weird sound, weird feel kind of thing. But man, does it make a difference to me on the Medfords. Like, especially, I've done double detents on a couple, but especially these Medfords that have the kind of weak detent. The thing about the double detent, in my experience, is how I've done it. And I said I was going to show you these guys, but like, honestly, like, it's just a matter of laying out and drilling the holes. And I've figured some things out over time and other things I'm still working on. So like, I'm no expert in accomplishing a double detent stuff, but I guess that's the reason. And my head was kind of in a weird spot after talking with the Eonans, like, you know, how certain things in life will kind of, you know, make you think about life differently. And that was a situation for me. But anyway, this one came out pretty much exactly how I wanted it to after the fact. So like, I've done a couple of these and I try to approach it slightly different. Like, sometimes I'll lay it out from this side. Sometimes I'll take it apart and lay it out from the inside. And on this particular one, because that step inside the frame, hopefully you can see it up in here. Sorry, I'm in the right spot. That step inside the frame does not leave you a whole lot of room deck in here. So you kind of have to lay this one out from the inside, drill through a pilot hole, and then come back through and then lay out where you want the detent hole on the blade. This one I tried. So there's several different ways of doing that. Doing a detent, like, I found that if you go exact size of the ball, the exact size of the hole, it gets in there and gets locked, and it's not a good feel. You can make a stiff detent, like me and Donnie were talking about this. Like you could make a strong detent where you can't even move it. Like one of my Javelina, I did that too. And like it's a hard detent. Like it's ridiculously hard. It doesn't feel good. It's just a stiff detent. And like it's not a good feel. So there's stiffness and feel that kind of need to be involved. And I feel like for the double detent stuff, I don't think it's a flipper style detent. Like you don't want that. It's not a single boom crisp. It's a smoother finger flicking style detent, which is, you know, a certain nice is what you prefer. Obviously with this one, not being a finger flipper, it worked great, or not being a flipper, back flipper. It works great for the finger flick. If I can get my words straight here. The one thing I did notice is, and I was talking about last week with the ball mill versus bull mill versus flat mill. This is ball milled. You see how it's got that full radius in the corner. This is bull milled. You see how it's got a radius in the corner, but the bottom of it's flat. With this style, I can find that I can still flick with the thumb. I can still thumb, and it's pretty good. With this style ball, I can't get my thumb any purchase on it. So, you know, advantage is a disadvantage. This is a newer Marauder, full-size Marauder, and this is a older, the 2-hole Marauder. It's not one of the old ones because it still has, like, if you look on the inside where the pocket clip is, it's not drilled and tapped. It's got the relief for the nuts that he uses and other various things that you can kind of sort of tell that it's not the older one. I still like the older versions myself, but this is like kind of mid-age, I guess you'd say, in Medford stuff. And speaking of which, I don't know if y'all saw it or not, but like I meant to mention it last week, you know, Medford canceled the Praetorian, and now he's canceling the kind of the custom sculpting. Not that I'm really into that kind of stuff, but he's kind of getting out of that and doing, he's streamlining to more production now, which is cool. I always thought pretty much since, it's like I met Medford when he was in the original shop, and then he expanded to that shop beside him, and it was like double the size, but still in the original location. As soon as he moved from there, like there on, he's pretty much been production in my mind. We all kind of, you know, differentiate that different ways, but it seems like he's moving to more production. So obviously it's bogging the system down and, you know, not working for him for a lot of the custom stuff. I don't know what else he's doing, but I thought it was interesting, you know, like moving away from that. I know a lot of y'all like that kind of stuff. Me personally, like, it's just not my thing. Sorry, I had to get a sip real quick. Me personally, it's not my thing. Y'all know that, like, but anyhow, back to double detent stuff. I don't know why I got on the Medford tangent for a minute. They were just in my hands. I did the fuller on this one. Did I show you that last week? I can't remember if I did or not, but I did do the, this time I'm messing around, and this is all thanks to Paul, because, you know, I do a lot of regrinds for Paul, and Paul always sends me, like, pictures of after he does it. Like, I like working with guys like that, because they're like, just do this, and I want to finish and do something different. He wants to put his touch on it. I enjoy that. Like, that's kind of how I am, too. I like seeing and doing different things myself, experimenting a little bit and trying different things. So anyway, he hit me up and it's like, hey dude, have you ever used this blacked out stainless or stainless blackout stuff instead of like etching? I'm like, no, I don't have any experience with it. And he's like, I'm gonna buy some. I was like, well, definitely let me know your results. So he started showing me results. I had to order some. I went a little different route this time. So like I was looking for a dirty look, and I think I got it pretty good on this one. So if you look at it, it looks like it's filthy, which is awesome. I kind of love that look. I'm not sure if it's going to stay this way or not, but hopefully you can see it. So this bottom part was acid etched. This fuller was acid etched. This was originally, and then I went back and cleaned it up with the belt and just did a rough grind. I wanted the grind lines to show through, AKA like Todd Heater style, like where, you know, a lot of the stuff he does, you can see like the heavier grip grind lines. Now, I think this is a cool finish. Like, I don't know, like, I know he's machinist too. Like, so maybe it's just a industrial style thing. Like, I like seeing the textures like that. It just seems like a cool finish to me. And then I went back behind it and put that stainless black and stuff on it. And then when I took it out again, I hit this part with Scotch-Brite, and I just washed this down with try to get some of that black out of it. I just washed it down almost immediately with acetone. So I took some of that out of it, but left some dirty spots, which I think is kind of cool. It may go back in the bath again for another darkness, but I left it that way. Anyway, I started showing this because I did the double detent mod on this one as well. So you can see this is the original detent. This is the detent that I put in there. The one on the, let's see, it'd be my left. I don't know what it is for you. Is the one that I put in there. And, you know, it had a little bit of a lock rock, or not lock rock, excuse me, a detent rock before. And so by putting that detent in there, I was able to accomplish it. Kind of what I was getting to a minute or two ago. If you use the exact same diameter of the ball as the hole, you kind of get locked in there and you can't get in any position, or it doesn't have a good feel to it. It might lock in and be a good detent as far as holding the blade, but like it's not crisp, it doesn't feel good and that sort of thing. So I've found that if I use a smaller stop pin in this when I lay it out, and let it go a little bit further in, and then I drill my detent hole, basically the alignment from the hole in the blade to the detent hole is slightly offset, so it can't go fully into the hole. It's still slightly out, so you're still on the ball, the detent. You know, it's probably, you know, 90% of the way in there, but you still got that ramp up from the ball, and it seems to help the way they feel. Having said that, you don't get that good crisp single detent like you do for flippers. So for flippers like this flipper action, you can see it suffered. It suffered with this mod for sure. Like it was better before, other than they had the lash, right? But now for the finger flick, it's there all day long. So once again, I'm finding that the double detent mod for the finger flick, especially when you want to dial them in, seems to work good. But for the flipper, it's still like one of those, maybe I ought not to, you know, mess with it. So if you're more into flipper than you are finger flicking, then you probably wouldn't. But like, I don't know. I did the flipper delete off of Evans last week, and I don't know. It felt good to me, man. I like the way that felt, and it had, you know, obviously the reblade that I did on that one had that fuller here, and the had the stud or the hole, I can't remember, on the other side. I can't even remember what I did to it, to be honest with you. Oh, it had the stud. That's right. Had the stud on the other side. So that one in particular, and the thumb stud works great on this one too, as I failed it there a second ago. But yeah, kind of digging this double detent playing around stuff. Which kind of brings me to, after I was talking to Ev. So I told you like Tuesday was kind of a weird day for me, and it kind of got me in a weird headspace and stuff. And like Ev and I have been doing a little wheeling dealing in the background, but he really surprised me on Thanksgiving. This was just supposed to be a borrowed thing, but it's mine now. We kind of worked out a little something for this and something else. I'm fixing to show you in a minute here. This is the DSK Stealth. That, honestly, I didn't even know what it was called. Like a lot of the DSKs, like there's so many variants of the same model that they kind of all wash, you know, you lose track of it. So like as far as the big stuff goes, like the stuff that I'm more into, like the Atreus I was telling you a minute ago, I think the Deluxe is the only one that I haven't had or handled. I'll get one eventually. I just haven't got around to it yet. But this Stealth was kind of off my radar. So I even asked him, I was like, which one is this? I think I called it the Prick, or I can't remember what I asked him, but he's like, no, that's a Stealth, man. And he was like, you like the finishes on that one? I was like, actually, yeah, man. Like, I don't think I changed anything about this one. Maybe, like, he was going to have me open this hole up to kind of make it more of a SMF style strider hole, or whatever you want to call it, oblong. And I was thinking when I first got this, I might cut a groove over here, but you can probably see where my fingers been sitting on this side to finger flick this one. But this is a super cool knife, and it's a little, I'll show you size-wise in a minute. I can actually flick it right off that, no problem at all, because it's acid edge, because you get just enough traction. Like obviously if you're slippery, you ain't getting on it. But I haven't yet had this one apart. But stealth wise, very shocked at how much I like this knife. Like if it was like flipperless, if it was just a finger flick only and this little groove wasn't here, it would probably feel weird. So this is definitely one that you want to keep a flipper. But you could see it as a choked up, like if that flipper wasn't there, a choked up style knife with a groove on the backside. Or excuse me, I'll hold it where y'all can see it. Excuse me, a fuller back here or something like that. That could be a cool knife too. So I could definitely see more variants of that. But yeah, I don't have anything in this like bronzy finish. And I'm not really into that bronzy stuff, but for whatever reason, this with the acid wash and then the natural bronze, that man looks so good, don't it? Ev, can't thank you enough, bro. You really made my day, man. You don't even know it. And he sent me a bunch of sweet stuff too. Like if y'all don't know, y'all follow Evan on Instagram, you'll see sometimes he posts up stuff like stuff he's cooking, and like I told the dude, I was like, I know you're not a chef, but you could be, that's for sure. Like he could, well, I don't know that he ain't a chef, but I don't think he admitted to it that he was or wasn't. But man, he sent me some sweet stuff that very much appreciated. Our deal's not 100% done yet. What he got from me isn't at his house, and I don't consider any deal done until it's done. And like that knife from Bob, this Marauder, I wasn't going to modify it until our deal was done, but he's pretty much, he's good. We're just not 100% done with the deal, but on his end, I know he's good. Like mentally, we're in the same spot, so I think we'll be all right. Let's just a few size comparisons, because y'all don't know what size the Stealth is, and I say it's small. For me, it's small. But here's my Diamondback, and you can see the Diamondback is actually smaller than the Stealth is lengthwise. But you know, I got that extra thick Stealth, so or extra thick Diamondback. This was not the thicker one. I have a thicker one besides this one, but it's still like chunkier feeling in the hand, but it's very similar. The Stealth just feels leaner, you know, like thinner in the hand than the Diamondback. And this Diamondback ain't the same as, I gotta show you this one too. This is in from Denise. I'm just doing a stone wash on it. This was Carco's, and I believe he polished it, and it was a little slick for Denise. So this is her Diamondback. Yes, it's got that same copper stripe Damascus, even though it's polished and you can't really see the Damascus that well. Hopefully you can see it if I turn it in the right light. And all I did was just stone wash this. This was all polished, and it's just stone wash now, just to kind of knock some of the slickness down. I won't say it's the most traction on it now, but it's definitely not as slick as it was. But even that Diamondback compared to my Diamondback, you see how much bigger mine is than hers. And I don't know, this may be a new version of it, or it may be these for prototypes, and then this was, because I think both of these were labeled prototypes. I think this might be like a what actually he does now for customs. I don't know, but anyway, so her Diamondback versus the Stealth, you can see it's way smaller. Hopefully I'm keeping this stuff in frame. It's hard for me to see, dudes. And then since she's got, well, I got the Javelina too. Let's do the Javelina too. So Javelina versus Stealth. So they're, you know, you see they're pretty similar in size, other than this is a much taller, thicker, chunkier knife, and this is much more of a normal size knife for your normal people that like normal size knives. And since it's here, and I never got to handle one before now, like I'm about to do some mods on this one, but this is a little sidekick. I mean, I'm talking about this is little. Like I thought this was like this size knife, but this look, this thing is itty bitty. Like it's itty bitty, but it's still cool. It's still got that DSK feel to it too. Look how chunky that little guy is, man. Like it's chunkier than the Stealth is. It's crazy, man. But it's a little guy. Anyway, I thought y'all get a kick out of that, because if you've never seen a sidekick before, like they're small, man. But I kind of dig it. So size comparison else that y'all might know. Let's see. I know, I'm sorry, I'm not like the most YouTuber. How about a Mac 2? So you can see it's good size, bigger than that. So this is definitely a small knife for me. So this is still what I would consider a small knife for most of what I carry, right? But in reality, it's probably between S&G and SMF size-wise. I don't have one here. It might even be SMF size. I don't know. It just feels thinner, I guess, for me compared to most DSKs. Like it's normally chunky. But once again, I want to thank you, Evan. This really, dude. I don't know how else to say it, but it was such a shock. And I got this like Wednesday night. Like my wife got sick. She was working. We could work pretty much every day on call. Like ERs, animal ERs. I've been crazy busy for like the last week. Like yesterday was the first day it slowed down, but you know, like her being sick, I was supposed to have time off. One of the other employees was supposed to work with my wife, and I would just not let them get sick because Darcy's sick, or hot rod, or whatever you want to call it. So it just kind of worked out where I just worked every day this week, be done with it. Well, I don't know where, dude, I'm on such a tangent. I don't even know what the hell I'm going there for. All right, so this next one is part of the trade deal with F. This is one that I didn't think I would ever like have any desire for. It just got put in my hands. Like I knew I wanted to borrow it. I definitely asked him to let me borrow it when I saw that he had posted it on Instagram, but it's not one that I would ever have thought I'm ever going to like this or ever going to do anything with it. And then when I got it, I was like, wow, like the skinniness and the lightness of it suck. Like they're not my flavor at all. But at the same time, everything else about it was like on point. And like, I don't really have any lightweight knives. Like I know some of y'all are laughing at me, but like I'm used to carrying like a full size knife in my shorts. Like it don't bother me. I'm just used to it. Like sometimes I carry it in the waistband, but I always have one of those big knives in it. I'm not saying this is gonna replace that, but like it's kind of nice because in Arizona it's always hot. Like it's, you know, probably gonna be close to 80 today. No, obviously not right now, but yeah. Oz Roosevelt XL. So the Rosie XL. It came for a visit. After talking with Ev, you know, we kind of worked out a deal there. So more or less, it was gift, and then it turned into trade. So you know, however you want to look at it, we both had good intentions, right? And it just kind of worked out. This is a strange one, man, because like everything about this, like overall profile wise, is in my alley. Like I like this knife a lot. You know, it's a super thin blade. If you didn't already know, like that's an 1/8 inch blade. Like I don't think I have even my smallest, this will be the smallest knife I have in my collection, and it's thicker, right? Or at least as thick. Yeah, I think it's thicker, just judging by looks. But overall profile wise, you can see it's way smaller. So yeah, this was a very much a shock to me, and I think that I kind of like in talking with Eb, I told him the same thing. It's kind of like it reminds me of kind of the Grimsmo Norseman. Like, I'm not into that skinny kind of style knife, lightweight, skinny. It's just not my flavor. I know a lot of people else are like more concerned with like weight and stuff, but like for me personally, I've never had a job or a task that required me to be lightweight. Like, it's just not my thing, right? I care less about lightweight. Like, I'd rather carry a heavier knife. It's just more my style, right? So like the Norseman's the same way for me. It's like I pick it up, I look at it, it's like it looks cool as hell. The action's so good on it that I almost forget about how skinny and lightweight it is. And that's kind of what this one got to me. So this one's got the texture, the zigzag texture. What's the name? Knife Edge did a video on both the XL and comparison between it and a regular Rosie. And I think he just posted this morning. So if y'all don't know who Knight's Edge is, go check out his channel. But I've been hearing so much good stuff about these Rosies. Also, Daniel, these 7Cs. Like these 7Cs. If you haven't seen his channel, like I like watching his videos because he's really passionate about his knives. You can tell he's super passionate, and he's not like, I'm not saying he's not in the knife community, but he's kind of like on the outskirts of the knife community. But big jiu-jitsu guy, and where like if you've ever done martial arts, it either works or it doesn't work, and you kind of test that theory on about everything. Sometimes it works for you and it don't work for you, kind of thing. It's a more of a mindset, I guess, and I can kind of see him going through that mental mindset when he evaluates his knives. So I kind of appreciate that end of it. But anyway, those guys keep talking, or not those guys, Daniel especially keeps talking about how much he loves the Rosie and a lot of the higher end productions. Like, some people would call this a custom. To me, this is a higher end production. Like, this is exactly like you get the same part off every time. It's a production knife. Like, you're producing these knives. You're not changing. You're changing colors and finishes and that sort of thing, and maybe like the texture of the scale. But you're producing this knife. It's small batch production. It's higher end production. And it's still American made. So to me, this is still production, like they were made for. Like, it's still production, like DSKs, Direwares, Rogovets, all those. That's custom, because they're not making the exact same knife every time. They might get it water jet. The profile might be the same, but they might change everything else about it. Like, I would say Carco Chris, but he changed his name, like Murder Cat or something. Whatever Chris's name is now off Instagram, was asking about the scale, the G10 scale for the Javelina, which I probably will send him anyhow, but I'm not sure that you could bolt that to another Javelina and be fine. I'm not 100% sure, because he doesn't lay it out the same way every time. Like, it's close. It'll be close, but is it like dead nuts perfect? Like, I don't think it would be, to be honest with you. But like, until you try one, you never really know. Man, I'm on a rambling page. The main thing after, like, so once again, like, he hasn't got the knife from me that we traded for, but as far as mind of it, like, I'm just waiting for it to be done before it's done. But like, so in contemplation, like, I got this knife from him pretty much right away. Like, it was a night, the next day we pretty much settled up, or not settled up, but settled on a deal that we were both happy with. But I questioned myself. So this is high-end production, American made. If this was a Chinese made knife, would I have even looked at it? Then I have to honestly like evaluate myself on that one, but I don't think I would have. Like, I don't think I would have been, so what, another Chinese knife. And that's kind of like a double standard, right? Like, it's definitely a double standard that I guess it's two different things. I guess you evaluate a knife for a knife, or you take the more, is it political? Is it more pride of your country, production? I don't know, like what you're supporting, your money going back to your own country or going to a different country, kind of thing. So I guess patriotism, if you're look at it as a patriotism thing or just a knife thing. But if I'm evaluating this as just a knife thing, if this was a Chinese knife and it came to me, especially at the price, I would have expected more. And obviously that's because American manufacturing is way different, because we don't have basically cheap or free labor. We have to do things differently in our country. And as a business owner, I know those things all too well. But I question myself, like, would I be drawn to this as much? And I don't know, to be honest with you, I don't know. I do want to do a breakdown of this one because this one does have, this is the actual first knife that I've received from a manufacturer that has that double detent. I don't even know if y'all can see that up in there or not. I'm trying to, there he goes, double detent. So it's a double detent knife. I have no idea how they do their detents. Like, so I'm gonna take it apart and learn from it. I will do a video on it. I probably, if it doesn't have a good bearing, I'm not sure what comes in these things. Like it's, you can see the action is pretty much money as it is. But I might put skiffs in it too, just for the hell of it. I don't know. You know, I like this knife a lot. The skinniness is weird. Like I really wish, I know I'm gonna say this, I'll say this about every knife, but I wish that at least he would do a limited run of these without the freaking pockets in them and the titanium, and just sticking that blade up to make the weight just distribute evenly. Like if it ends up being 155 thou, 165 thou blade, just sticking it up enough that the weight on the scales and the weight on the blade evens out, make it happier. This would be a much better knife, in my opinion. Like, I don't think when you get to this size knife, people are worried as much about as the weight and all that things. Maybe, yeah, if anybody else has handled this knife or has interest in this, y'all let me know. Like, would y'all really care if this knife was, you know, 7 ounces versus 5? Like, does it make a difference on those 2 ounces? Like, you're already carrying a pretty full size knife. Like, if it was a little bit thicker, a little bit more weighty, but felt better, like, I don't know. Like, it's the same thing like the Mac 2s. I wish they'd get back to not milling out the scales in them and to make them a little thicker blade to make the weight even out. I don't know. Like, it's just my thoughts on it anyhow. I think I've rambled more than enough today. But hey, let's just call it there. 26, is it 26 minutes? Yeah, I think 26 minutes in. And we'll call y'all. Oh, we'll call y'all. We'll talk to y'all next week. How about that? Hopefully I get me another day off and get some rest up and get some work done, and hopefully I get these done for you too, Denise. I got some others. Oh yeah, let me back up for a second. So like, you know, the Black Friday special I put out there, absolutely no one took me up on it. So I thought that was kind of funny. So I know that the regrinds are kind of played out. Like if you want to regrind, you know, to hit me up, but I'm not going to push it anymore. Some people think that I'm a knife modder. I don't consider myself a knife modder. I do what I like to my knives. If you see something I do similar to that, then maybe we can work out something. But if you ask for something different that you've never seen on the channel, chances are I'm not going to try it on your knife. I'd rather do it on mine first. So like my boy Josh hit me up for some spine work on his knife. And I'm like, I've never done that before, man. I'm not going to take your knife, your expensive knife, and do something like that to it. Like, it's just not something I'm willing to do. And honestly, Meg, it's not my style. Like, so, I'll handle it with Josh personally, but like I just want to kind of let everybody know, like, you ain't seen me doing it on the channel. Chances are I'm not going to do it first on your knife, right? All right, we're going to call it there. Y'all be good. Later, y'all.